You read the title, NBA Quarterly Awards. We're about 20 games in for a majority of the teams in the league. Some teams are at 18, some are at 17, a couple are at 17, and a couple are at 20. Close enough, bro. We're doing NBA Quarterly Awards. What's going on, guys? CTG Matt back. We're just going to jump into it right now. We're doing the boring awards first. I only did a couple of them because, bro, the boring awards are the ones that you're really going to give out in real life. MVP, MIP, Sixth Man of the Year, Coach of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. I only did MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, Most Improved Player. That's all I did, because the rest of them are going to be announced by the actual NBA. So I created 3 or 4 unique awards that I am giving out to people that I believe should be given them. Some of them make sense. Some of them I will have to explain. Let's get into it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, sub. We're going to start out with the boring awards. We're starting out with MVP. For NBA MVP, I have Jason Tatum. I know, it's not the popular pick. Here's the issue. At the time of recording, as I sit here and talk to you, the Denver Nuggets are currently the 7 seed. I don't like giving the 7 seed MVP. Nikola Jokic is the MVP. You know, every MVP ladder you look at would probably have Jokic at number 1. And it is not Nikola Jokic's fault that they are the 7 seed. He's doing his part. He's carrying the load. It's not his fault to the 7 seed. He's missed 2 games, too, with the birth of his daughter. Right? So it's not his fault. However, like I said, they are the 7 seed. And I'm not giving it to a 7 seed. It's never happened before. I don't think it should happen. 7 seed is just too low. So instead, I chose Jason Tatum. If you rule out Nikola Jokic, because like I said, 7 seed, it's between him and Shea, him being Jason Tatum. Why did I choose Tatum? Because right now he's currently averaging 28.5 points, 6 assists, and 8 rebounds. He's averaging a career high in assists while also not averaging a career high in turnovers. That's pretty good. His offensive rating is a plus 13.6 with him on the floor, which is higher than Shea's. Subtracting that 0 for 10 game that he had versus the Washington Wizards from 3. Yeah, against the Wizards, he shot 0 of 10 from 3. You subtract that 1 game from his catalog, he's currently shooting 40% from 3. And then the real thing that I think differentiates and separates Shea from Jason Tatum is defense. Look at Shea's numbers defensively. He is not a good individual defender. They often hide him, put him on weak guards, you know what I mean? Guys who don't get buckets. He'd be guarding the Derrick Jones Jr.'s. He'd be guarding the Derrick Whites. He would not be guarding the best player. Jason Tatum will. He has taken that assignment. Currently, I'm watching them play the Bulls, and he is guarding Zach LaVine. That is their best player, and he is taking that assignment. I think that really is what differentiates Shea from Tatum in my mind. I appreciate what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's doing. The way he gets buckets is beyond easy. However, his three-point shooting is down. He's shooting 34%, which is lower than Tatum. And then on top of that, he's playing worse defense than Tatum. Playmaking-wise, I think they're kind of similar, to be honest, at this point. 6 assists versus where's Shai at? 6. Shai's averaging 6.4. So they're basically in the same spot when it comes to assists per game. So realistically, there really is no differentiator. I just think, rebounding, Tatum averages more. He's a better defender. He shoots better from 3. I think that's good enough reason for me, to be honest. Of course, Nikola Jokic would win the MVP award if they were not the 7 seed. But of course, 7 seeds don't win MVP. I just think that's too low to win Most Valuable Player. We're going to move on to the next one. I get it, but eventually it probably will be Jokic. If the season ended today, they would probably give it to Nikola Jokic, and I would be so fine with that. But the issue is, just in my view, I don't see a 7 seed winning MVP. I just don't. Next up, Defensive Player of the Year. I wanted it to be Dyson Daniels so bad, bro. I was sitting here trying to rationalize how I could do it. You know, the logical choice, though, is just Victor Wembanyama. The guy is averaging 3.6 blocks per game and about 1.5 steals. That's 5 stocks a game from your center, who by the way, 1.5 steals for a guy who's his height is incredible. The hand-eye coordination he has, how smooth he is in passing lanes, and how well he uses his hands. He is an incredible defender. Currently, the Spurs as a team are 11th in defensive rating with a 112.2. Victor Wembanyama's defensive rating is 102.9. Come on, man. It's just ridiculous what he does out there, and you can definitely tell the difference when Zach Collins checks into the game. Zach Collins provides value. He's really good offensively. He can stretch the floor a little bit too. He's a decent backup center. But let's talk about that. Zach Collins on-off defensive numbers, points per 100 possessions is +8 when Zach Collins is on the floor. You really start to see the difference. Opponent effective field goal percentage when Zach Collins is on the floor is up 2.5%. You can see the difference visibly. They have another center, Charles Bassey, who I think is actually kind of closer to Zach Collins than we'd like to talk about. That's a different conversation. But you could see the difference in the Spurs team when Wemby's out there versus anybody else playing the 5. It is ridiculous. And it's just ridiculous how good he is at like covering up people's mistakes. There was a couple of times in games where I've seen his players just lose positioning on rebounding. And you got to close possessions, you know. But here's the thing. If you allow an offensive rebound and the guy tries to go back up for a putback, guess what happens? Yeah, chances are that it's going to the stands, buddy. Wemby's not human, but shout out to Dyson Daniels. I tried my best to rationalize Dyson Daniels to be the defensive player of the year. I just don't think it's going to happen. 3.5 blocks per game and 1.5 steals is just beyond human, and that's why Victor Wembanyama's the alien, bro. He'll just, nobody's like him. Nobody will ever really be like him. And even if his offense doesn't turn it around, which it kind of hasn't, it's been rough. But even if his offense doesn't fully turn around this year, guess what? You still have an otherworldly defender. Next up, Coach of the Year. This one's pretty obvious. It's Kenny Atkinson. The Cavs are 17-2 at the time of recording. Yeah, this is after the loss to the Atlanta Hawks, but before the nightcap. You know what I mean? But Darius Garland looks like a completely different player than last season. Last season, it looked like he had no confidence in the playoffs. When Donovan Mitchell went down against Boston, he looked like he was just lost. A deer in headlights. A scared baby, right? This season, it's been different. He looks more aggressive, more decisive. He knows what he wants to do with the ball. And the thing that I always bring back to is I had my fair share of doubts about this Cavs team before the season started. I said that they were pseudo-contenders, not real contenders. And I felt like those were justified. This team has had past failures before, and you know that, even if you're a Cavs fan. You know, they pewtered out in the playoffs last year. I thought they were going to use their size and beat the heck out of the Celtics. They have Mobley, they have Allen, and the Celtics didn't have Porzingis. They didn't do that. They got bullied. And then obviously, you know, the series versus Orlando where they didn't look great either. And then the year before that, I mean, you have Jared Allen saying the lights were too bright. Shout out to him, man. He's taken his lumps there. But this team has had their fair share of failures, and I just didn't believe in them. However, with what Kenny Atkinson's got going on and how good they've looked offensively, you know, I kind of have them as a championship contender now. This team is a real threat to win the East, especially when the East is as shallow as it is. It's like a 3-horse race. And mind you, they added nobody, really, to this core. Last season, their starting lineup was Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Isaac Okoro, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. This season, their starting lineup is Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Isaac Okoro, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. It's the exact same. Dean Wade is hurt, and when Dean Wade's there, he's a complete difference maker. But Kenny Atkinson has just instilled so much confidence in these guys, and even somebody like Ty Jerome. But Ty Jerome was damn near nothing. Like, damn near. He played like 4 games last year. This guy has never in his career really been, you know, a 6 Man of the Year candidate. He hasn't been a thought. Let's be honest. In Oklahoma City, he had a couple of good seasons where he was playing on a bad team and could just chuck. But overall, Ty Jerome has been an afterthought. I don't think about Ty Jerome. But now every time I watch the Cavs, you know what I'm thinking of? Damn, Ty Jerome's making the right play right now. I see it way too often. All right? And part of that's Kenny Atkinson. He helps unlock guards and get them to play their full potential. So shout out to Kenny Atkinson. Shout out to the Cavs. On to the next one. Most improved player. Like I said before, I was really debating on this being Ty Jerome because he was an afterthought who's now a current 6 Man of the Year candidate. Unfortunately, I didn't pick him, though, just because there was a guy who made almost a 10-point-per-game jump this year. It's Mr. Addition by Subtraction. Norman Powell. If you don't know why I called him that, Mr. Addition by Subtraction, it's because when Paul George left, someone asked him about it, and he said that it was addition by subtraction. More guys get more shots, including Norman Powell. Here's what Norman Powell's doing with those extra shots. Last season, 76 games, he averaged about 14 points per game. I'll round up for you. Still shot pretty well from the field, pretty good from 3. His career high season, his career best season is 19 points per game on a bad Portland team where he just got to chuck. This season, 23.5 points per game. Like I said before, his career high in a season is 19. It's up 4 points from that. Last season, it's up almost 10 points. 10 whole points from last season. That's a jump that you don't see very often. And it's a jump that he's kind of going to get all-star consideration for. Again, Norman Powell, by the way. He's also averaging a career high 2.3 assists. I know that's not a lot, but it's something. It might be unsustainable. But however, we're celebrating now and today. He's shooting 48.7% from 3. 48.7% from 3. That's almost 50% from 3. He's also shooting about 50% from the field. and about in the 80s for free throw. It's fine. I really wanted to argue somebody else here, but it's got to be Norm to me, bro. Look at the odds, by the way. Here's a mini tangent rant. Look at the odds for most improved player. You'll see LaMelo Ball, Jalen Williams, Evan Mobley, Franz Wagner. Shut up. Shut up. Those are not most improved player candidates. Those are lottery picks. They were picked top 10. LaMelo Ball won Rookie of the Year. He was second in Rookie of the Year, wasn't he, behind Ant-Man? Second in Rookie of the Year. He made an All-Star game. Franz Wagner was a fringe All-Star last year. So was J-Dub. J-Dub had a breakout in the playoffs last year. He had a really good playoff series. What are we doing? Most improved player doesn't go to fringe All-Stars who are becoming All-Stars. It's not how that works. That's progression. Back when I was growing up, bro, let me tell you, it went to guys like CJ McCollum, who went from 5 points to 19 points in a season. All right. Not, LeBron. Nowadays, if you drop rookie LeBron in, he would have won most improved player in year 3. All right. I hate this award now. All right. That's why I gave it to Norm Powell, and my second place was Ty Jerome. 2 guys who jumped their points per game, about 10 from last year. All right. Those are real improvements. LaMelo Ball is just getting the infinite green light. J-Dub is the second best player on his team now that Chet's gone. And Franz Wagner is the best player on his team because Paolo's gone. These guys are getting chances and opportunities because they've been fringe all-stars before. I don't like most improved player. I hate looking at the odds for it because it's so stupid now. All right, that's my mini tangent. Norman Powell, congrats on most improved player on the Catch the Game channel. I know you're honored. Now we're getting into the unique awards. This is the New Year, Same Me Award. It's going to Bradley Beal. Last season, Bradley Beal averaged 18 points, 4.5 rebounds, 5 assists. This season, Bradley Beal is averaging 18 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. The assist being down is obviously due to Tyus Jones being added. That is a high assist-to-turnover ratio point guard who makes really smart decisions with the ball. He's an incredible playmaker. But Bradley Beal, back to him, he's shooting 50% from the field, 40% from 3. He did both of those last season. Albeit he's taking 2 more threes per game. That's a Budenholzer thing. Bud wants to get threes up. However, he's still a net negative on defense. He might have patched it up a little bit. But here's the thing. He's still like a 6'3" small forward. By nature, he's going to struggle guarding big wings. All right, so he's still a mid defender. So that kind of boosts his case here. Altogether, he's putting up another Bradley Beal season. It's just what it is. You know, he's a really decent third option. This award isn't really meant to be a dig or a bash on Bradley Beal. It's consistent. You're consistent. You know what you're going to get on a night-to-night basis. Close to 18 points, pretty good efficiency, and he'll try to play some defense. However, I wasn't sure what his role would be under Budenholzer. Budenholzer is a weird coach, to say the least. He likes to get threes up, and he likes to kind of move fast-paced. All right, he likes to run on the break. I wasn't sure what Bradley Beal's role would be, especially adding a guy like Tyus Jones, like I said. But it's just the same old Bradley Beal. It's New Year, same me. You know, that's why we like Bradley Beal. That's why we like Mr. Consistence. You know what I mean? On to the next award. Uh-oh, Bulls are about to... Yep, they just took the lead on a THT corner 3. The Celtics are really sorry. All right, next award. It's called the Gary Cooper Award.
Whatever happened to Gary Cooper? The strong, silent type.
The strong, silent type. This is a guy who's having a really, really good season, but nobody talks about him. Nobody really talks about him at all. He goes unnoticed, but he's having a really strong season. It's Bennedict Mathurin. Nobody really talks about the Pacers nationally. Nobody really does. They're the Indiana Pacers. They just kind of win silently. They did it last season. However, when people do talk about the Pacers, they bring up Tyrese Halliburton struggling, or they talk about Pascal Siakam kind of carrying the team right now and being a really, really good player for them right now, probably an all-star. However, the silent hero has been Bennedict Mathurin and his ability to just get buckets. Bennedict Mathurin this season is currently averaging 18.5 points per game on 49, 42, 84 splits with 7 rebounds to go along with that. 18.6 points per game. That's their second leading scorer on 50, 40, 85 splits basically. That's really good. And he's the unsung hero of the season. Currently, like I said, as I record this game, the Pacers are sitting at 9 wins, 10 losses. I imagine if Bennedict Mathurin wasn't playing, they'd probably be at 4 wins. He's had some real hot scorcher games, and he's always been a bucket. We've known that. But coming off a big injury last year, missing the playoff run, you know, everything like that. He missed the playoff run. You didn't hear a peep out of him. All right, he just kept working to get back. He gets back, he's having a really strong season. Benedict Matherin's had 10 games with 20-plus points so far this season, including 2 of 30 or more points. He's an explosive scorer. He can get to his spot, knocks down threes, hits mid-ranges, gets to the rim well. He's a really complete offensive player. He's turning a corner, and it helps to have a real point guard like Tyrese Halliburton there, don't get me wrong. But with Halliburton struggling and Siakam being asked to do kind of a lot right now with Halliburton struggling, it helps to have a guy like Benedict Mathurin who can just go out there and get buckets in bunches. He's been one of the steadying figures on this Pacers team. When nobody else has it, or if somebody needs a grenade, you know what a grenade is inside 3 seconds on the shot clock. If you got a grenade, you pass that thing to Mathurin. He's going to go up with it. And the thing is, they're falling. The shots are falling right now. You know, he's one of the most reliable weapons that the Pacers currently have, with Nembhard missing time and them having to rely on like Jarris Walker and Johnny Furphy, who clearly aren't ready. But having a guy like Mathurin is very valuable because he's just, like I said, he's able to go out there and get buckets in bunches. This is a guy who called out LeBron his rookie season, basically. All right, so you know he's got big guts. You know he's got the guts. So, you know, now the production's matching at over 18 a game. He's having a really strong, silent season. Nobody talks about him, but 18.5 points per game is serious. The next award is the My Dad Would Love This Guy award. You know those guys that dads always love, the physical ones, you know, the guys who do all the dirty work. They don't put 30 on the board. They're not flashy in their game, but they do all the dirty work, the rebounding, the hard hitting, the fouling, you know, the defensive stuff, getting on the floor for loose balls. You know who this award's going to? Isaiah Stewart. Beef Stew is a 6'9" center. He used to play power forward under like Monty Williams and Dwayne Casey, I think, before that. And he used to shoot threes. Now he does neither one. He's strictly a center. He's a really good rebounder. Doesn't shoot many threes. Shoots about 20-something% from 3 on the ones he has taken. Is a guy a dad would like to watch because look at some of his fouls. He is killing people when he fouls them, man. He hits hard, and plus on top of that, he is built, he's strong. He's like if Charles Barkley and Charles Oakley had a less offensively talented son. Well, Barkley's offensive talent. He's kind of close to Oakley's offensive talent. But it's very close in the sense where they both rebound, they do dirty work, they're undersized big men who hit you hard in the paint, especially Charles Oakley. He has the shooting prowess of Charles Oakley and Charles Barkley, though. Look at Charles Barkley's three-point percentage some of those years. Why was he even taking them? Beef Stew sets really hard screens. He hits people. He's very physical. A quote that I saw in like the Detroit Times or something like that. Let me see if I can pull it up. I thought it was very interesting. He said that he loves to play defense. That was basically his exact quote. He's like, I love defense. And that's the type of guy that every team kind of needs. A good rim protector, hard screener, who's not afraid to make the opponent feel their physicality. He's physical. He hits people. Dads love this guy. Last award. It's the You Son of a Bitch, You Tricked Me award. I think you know what this award is. It's a guy who I thought before this season, you know, whether it was situationally different or something like that, I thought he's going to break out this year. And instead I got pump faked. That award goes to Deni Avdija. I kept saying to myself last season, get Deni Avdija away from Washington and you have a way better player. He's a great defender, a good passer, a good rebounder, and he became a net positive shooter last year, shooting about 38% from 3. He really picked it up last year in Washington, and I thought, man, this guy with some more talented role players around him, some more talented guys to help him get open looks and hit the open looks that he gets them, I thought he'd be set, especially in Portland. He moved to Portland, where you have Anthony Simons, Shaedon Sharpe, Jeremy Grant, DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams, Scoot Henderson. The list goes on. They have talent. I thought a new coach might help too. You listen to Chauncey Billups talk about Deni Avdija. He loves the guy. They said before the season that he looked like their best player in camp. I was drinking the Kool-Aid, Jim Jones style. It really was Jim Jones style because I feel like I'm about to die with those predictions now. I thought Deni Avdija was going to have a breakout season. Instead, no. This is the same player, except maybe worse this season. Of course, the defensive effort you get from Deni is always going to be consistent. He's one of those like pesky defenders, really good size, gets his hands in passing lanes, and is just a pesky defender. I love to watch him play defense. It's the offense I thought would take a jump. I said Shaedon Sharpe, Anthony Simons, they got guys who can help get him open looks. You know, the Wizards have some good players, but it's not nearly as deep as this Portland team is right now. I guess I might have thought wrong or something. Instead, Denny's currently shooting 39% from the field, 29% from three, with basically the same rebounding and assist numbers as Washington, actually slightly down. That's kind of because there's more players there that are taking his assists and rebounds and stuff like that. But like I said, Washington's not known for their player development. They never have been. They've had some really good players, but they are not known as the place you go when you want to get better. I thought Portland, fresh change of scenery, better talent around him, coaching staff, Chauncey Billups seemed to really believe in him, same with Joe Cronin. They really seemed like they believed in Denny Avdia, and I thought a team that really hands him the keys and tells him, hey man, you're the guy, he might strive. Instead, he's run backwards. He's running backwards. Denny Avdia's extension not being really expensive, he's still under $20 million. I expect that he'll always have some value in the NBA just because he's a really good defender, and like I said, his contract never really crosses like $16 million. It's a good deal. But I just thought the ceiling was higher, and I've believed it since he walked into the NBA. I've thought there's more here. Just keep digging and keep digging and keep digging. But it's like sports gambling. You keep betting and betting and betting, and then eventually your house is getting foreclosed. That's what's happening with my picks with Denny Avdia. I've sold the family farm for Denny Avdia stock, and what's happened is it's basically like investing in, I don't know, dirt stocks. I don't know. If you enjoyed this awards video, you made sure to wear your nicest suit. Make sure to like, comment, share, sub. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to go catch the game. See you guys in the next one.